really matter.
What do you want me to call you? Raven? Ray? What do you want to be called? Ray?
Ew.
What's,
Right.
what's up, Ray? What up, Ray?
No, please don't do that.
Ray?
No. I don't know. I feel like you don't really call me Ray, so just call me Raven.
Okay. Works for me. Greetings, guys. Matthew Hasso here with another episode of Fanboy Junction, and I am actually excited, so very excited about this episode for multiple different reasons. The first of which is my guest today is Raven Washburn, Raven Taco as she's called online, and the exciting thing about it is it's my daughter. Kind of made some of the questions a little weird because I was there for most of that stuff, but it was exciting to have her on, and this might be a little too much getting behind the scenes, as I was having a hard time getting some of the other episodes edited because some of my guests tend to be a little more verbose. And luckily for me, I want to say similar to her dad, my daughter is very concise. So our episode was very easy to edit, very easy to get out. So it is literally, we recorded it on Wednesday night and it's coming out on Friday. And that is probably the fastest I've ever recorded and put an episode out there, especially with this new format. I did want to say thank you, everybody, who's been listening. We're slowly kind of getting some traction back. But if you like the show, please let your friends know. Please share. Please come to the Facebook group, www.facebook.com/fanboyjunction with a K. And of course, you can follow me on all the Twitters, on the things. My stuff is out there. Raven's not so much. You can just interact with her in the group. Also, I did want to say that we are getting a little behind, or I am getting a little behind on putting the videos out that coincide with the episodes, but I will be up to task within the next week. And the next week's episode will start getting all kinds of jumbled. We've got a 2-parter next week. I can't decide which one, so I may just put a poll in the group and see what everybody says. Either way, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy this episode with Raven and I discussing the movie Stargate. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fanboy Junction. Even though we do intros, I keep doing that because there's not really a convenient, easy way to start this episode. And we've got today, our guest is Raven Washburn. Say what's up, Raven.
What's up, Raven?
Now, sometimes when we do these, Raven's a new guest. She hasn't been on the show before, but she's maybe listened to a couple.
Yes.
Now, usually when we have a new guest, we go through how you met me because I am narcissistic. So Raven, if you don't mind, will you tell the audience, how did we meet?
Well,
Was I the second or third person you ever saw in your entire life?
probably the third. I feel like it was my mom and then a doctor and then you.
No, it was a doctor then me. So I was second. So Raven is my daughter. Woo, first family member on the show. Well, the new version. I mean, Ryan kind of counts.
Yeah, I was like, your wife, but okay.
I mean, one that I made. So this is my daughter. So this is going to be a lot of fun. She didn't want to do it, but I made her do it. No, she's been wanting to do this one for a while. We finally had time to do it. So woot woot, 2 pandemics and quarantines and all that kind of nonsense. So the movie you picked today was Stargate, which we're going to get into eventually. But we're going to go through a couple things. Now, some of these questions I, of course, know the answers to.
Okay.
But you are going to tell everybody else. So where did your fandom begin?
Like, what do you mean? Like, who introduced me to it, or like a specific something?
Yeah, I mean, I know. Like it was.
I mean, it was you, but whatever you were watching, reading, whatever you left in the bathroom, I read it. So.
See, and I remember. I think one of my earliest memories when it goes to that kind of stuff is watching the Dark Crystal in the living room, and you walking in like, "What is this?" It's like, it's a Dark Crystal, and you're like, "Oh, those people are ugly," and I'm like, "Well, just sit and watch the movie." You're like, "I don't want to." I'm like, "Just sit," and you were probably like 4 or 5, and then you sat down, and then when the movie's over, you were, "Can we watch it again?"
I still do that. I keep talking to my roommates about it. I haven't showed it to anybody yet because they took it off of Netflix, but I still love that movie very much. I love that movie.
It's because it's awesome. Why wouldn't
It's
you love
true.
it?
And then the little show that Netflix did, that one was really good too.
Yeah, I still haven't gone back to it yet. I need to give it a shot.
It's
So
good.
yes, I mean, what I saw was pretty cool. It just, it was, Dark Crystal history. I guess it was fine. So with that in mind, I mean, I know that I shoved a lot of stuff in your face, but do you think there's anything you discovered on your own? Like, maybe as you got a little older that you were, I really like this. I want to buy these books or these magazines or check these
Um,
books out at the library. Was there anything like that?
there were like, I guess nothing like extremely independent of anything you've shown me. Like anytime I found like a book or a comic I was super into, it was because like you took me to a comic store, it was by a similar artist or like the same like company or something. And then um I don't know, like you would show me animes and then I find them on like Hulu. I find them on Hulu or Netflix and then whatever it recommends. So honestly, I feel like I haven't really strayed from anything you've ever shown me. Extremely far, but
Okay, well then with that in mind, what is your favorite cartoon? Do you have a favorite cartoon?
my favorite cartoon.
Yes.
Do animes count as cartoons?
Yeah, whatever you consider a
Um,
cartoon.
okay, honestly, I started watching it in quarantine. Castlevania is gorgeous. I love that show. I think that it's absolutely beautiful and um it's based on I think it was a video game which I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about that video game. So if people say that the show sucks because it's not like whatever, I don't know. I don't care about the video game. I care about the show that I watched with my eyes. I thought it was beautifully animated. Um I like the actors that they picked for it, and I really like the dynamic of like the relationship between each character and like the significance of what they're doing like for themselves. I think I just love that show.
I played that video game when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, and it didn't look anything like that show.
No, no, it didn't. No, it didn't.
It
No.
was a little sideways sprite with a little he had this little whip. Like it was like that was
That's
about it.
cute.
I think I may have played the second one, but that was like Super Nintendo days. That was a long, long time ago. Well, now you got your favorite cartoon, which you originally told me was Powerpuff Girls, but now you're cheating and changing something new.
You said I could say anime, so I said that. Otherwise, if we're just sticking to cartoons that aren't anime, I'm gonna say Powerpuff Girls, the original one. I think that shit's cute.
You don't like the reboot, or have you not watched it?
I watched some episodes, but I don't.
It's a little weird. Like some of the reboots, they try and do the same thing, but
I
more
like
modern.
appreciate what they're doing. I think that that is very good for like this generation of young children. But I do think that they're like trying a little too hard to try to stay true to the original while making it something new when they don't
Yeah.
have to do that. They could just make it something new. Like that Titans Go show. That is way different. Although it's the same cast, it's completely like its own independent thing. And I think that that's cute for what it is. They can keep doing that. It's not the same. The Powerpuff Girl one, I don't think they did a good job.
Yeah, they don't go enough
Yeah,
away. Yeah.
exactly.
I remember taking you to see that movie in the theater and just being when they did the Powerpuff Girl movie, going like, "Wow,
Yeah.
this is actually a good movie." Okay, like I thought this was gonna be freaking Brother Bear again.
Oh my god.
Dad, you're not supposed to be here to sleep.
You
Um,
paid for it. Like
I paid for a good nap. That's all I'm saying,
Fair
unintentionally. So with Stargate, I know that this isn't technically your favorite kind of genre film because Dark Crystal's your favorite, but we can't do Dark Crystal because there's no actors in it. So part of what we do is not something we can do later on in the show.
well, there
So
are actors in it. It's just voice actors and I don't know. I feel like there's only so much you can change about the
yeah,
Dark Crystal without making it
yeah,
way
there's
ass different.
And the fact that that show looks almost exactly like the movie, like there would be no.
Yes, yeah. They used the Jim Henson company,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's literally the same people.
yeah. So Stargate though is one of
Mhm.
your favorites.
Yes.
So what about this movie do you love? Why do you like this movie so much?
Um, well, I really like that it's about Egyptian stuff. My mom is super obsessed with
I don't know
Egypt.
your mom. Who is that? Have I met her before?
I guess not.
At least
She's
once.
at least that one
At
time.
least once
Maybe
I've met
maybe
her.
two times because you were there when I was born, but that's it.
Yeah,
After that,
give or take, depending on
mm,
who you talk to.
right. Um,
All right, because I remember going to see this movie with your mom, and we
in
liked it a lot.
1994.
In 1994, yeah, it was when I had first moved to San Antonio, and yeah, she was all into the Egyptian stuff. We had a great
Mhm.
time. It was really cool. This is around the time when they started introducing. I don't want to say introducing, but it started becoming really big about that the pyramids and all that Egyptian stuff was aliens. So
Right.
it was cool that we got to like they made a movie that embraced that whole weird idea behind aliens, and it was
Yeah.
sci-fi. It was Kurt Russell, so
Yes, Kurt Russell.
so that was really
Exactly.
cool. So why do you like? Do you remember the first time you saw this movie? Why do you like it so much?
I can't say if this was the absolute first time I've seen this movie. Maybe not, but the first time I remember seeing it, if I remember correctly, I was at Scott's house and um in like his old apartment, y'all were staying there for the weekend or something, and y'all already went to bed, and I was like, I'm gonna pick a movie because I'm young and I stay awake until 12, right? And I put on this movie and I watched it and I just thought it was so amazing. Like, I love the idea of aliens in general, and I love Egyptian stuff, and the fact that, oh my gosh, maybe the Egyptian stuff is based from aliens and things like that. It was just so fun for my little kid brain. And I really like the costumes, and I think that the actors in the original movie are very well cast for the roles that they have. And I just always thought it was like super fun. I just thought it was cool.
Wait. You never saw that movie till I had moved away until you were a teenager?
Yeah. Well, I was like 12.
I feel like,
That's why I said the first
yeah,
time
that you
I
remember.
remember seeing
Okay.
it, because I know that
Because,
there are bunches of movies that you watched when I was little. I don't remember that stuff.
well, I was trying to think if like your mom would have watched it because I know she loves that movie.
So when I became obsessed with it after I watched it, she was like, "Oh yeah, I love that movie." I was like, "Well,"
Uh,
so I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna say anything. All right. So, what is what's your favorite scene from the movie? Like when you think about this movie, you're like, this scene is my favorite.
Okay, it sounds super dumb, but like when his when the ship is already attached to the pyramid and like the guards take up the colonel and Dr. Jackson, and they're like shh up there or whatever, and he and Rock comes out with like all his kids and the guards are there and like their armor, and then like the armor like fades away, and then like Rock's like facade fades away. As shitty as that CGI is to look at now, that like I just think that that's so cool. I think the costumes are really good, and I just feel like everything looks so cool. I like think of myself in that position. I'll be like, holy shit! Like that's just so cool. I love it. I think it's really fun.
Now, who's your favorite character in the movie?
Dr. Jackson for sure.
Yeah, why is that?
I think he's super cute and he's super smart and he's completely misunderstood and he gets to stay with the alien hottie, living the dream.
You know that's Ultron, right?
No way.
Yes, that's James Spader. He's the guy who
That's
voices
funny.
Ultron.
Ew.
Yeah. So you like Ultron. You want the Avengers
No,
dead.
no,
That's what you just
specifically
said.
Dr. Daniel Jackson, not Bill Spader. No.
James Spader. James.
James.
Who's Bill Spader? Bill Spader, some normal dude. I'm a doctor.
He's like, yeah, I'm Dr. Jackson.
Yeah, Doctor Bill Jackson, Bill
Bill
Spader
Jackson.
Jackson, at your service. He's wearing
Exactly.
a cardigan with an ascot. Look.
No, oh, he's cute. He sounds cute.
Jeez. All right. So, if you could change one thing about this film, what would it be? Like, because there's some people have a movie and they love it, but there's that one thing. Like, Batman Begins. I hate friggin' the girl who plays Rachel, Katie Holmes. Can't stand her in that movie. I think she is so not in the group of talent pool, but whatever. You can hear me rant about that.
I have to agree.
Okay.
I've heard you rant about it before.
Yeah. So for this film, is there something where you're like, me?
Um, Honestly, it would have to be the people that they casted to be like the humans that are on this planet. Like, I just scientifically, there would not be that many white people there. Purely that. I've always thought that. I've always been like, really? Just don't think that that's accurate. But it's also a movie, so
Well, I
how
mean,
accurate could it be?
they were brown facing a lot of them. It wasn't too bad.
You shouldn't have to brown face. Why can't you just cast actual actors that look like what you're trying to be?
And you're right, because the girl who plays the main, so the girl plays the main lead.
Mhm.
She's like white with blonde hair.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally. So it's kind of, but I mean, but I think, but she does have Israeli, like she is a Israelian. So like genetically, she probably would be somebody that would have been taken during that time, depending on slaves and all that kind of stuff.
Depending on how far back you want to go, but we're talking about Egyptians.
Correct, but they're slaves. Because I always took it as that Ra took not only Egyptians, but the slaves the Egyptians would have had, which were the Jews, Israelis.
Oh, I guess.
I mean, I'm just trying to make it seem like they knew what they were doing.
No. Hold on.
All right, so I know you've done some acting. It's been a while, but you've done some acting. So let me ask you this, because I like popping this, especially on my actor buddies. If there
Okay.
was a role in this movie you could play yourself, what would you play?
um,
Like we could
I
probably
don't.
find a cardigan that would fit you, maybe an ascot, be
um,
Danielle Jackson.
Danielle Jackson. Yes. Honestly, I don't know. I've always been like scared to like reach out of whatever. So if I had to absolutely choose a role in this movie, I would choose to be at the beginning of the movie when they do the flashback and you see a young Dr. Langford. That would be me. No talking, just standing there looking shocked.
Just a
Wow. See that? Look, there's it right there. Wow.
yeah.
Me.
Whoa. Did you guys see that?
Holy shit. I could do that. I could do it well.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. So now that we've talked about your favorite movie, the movie you've picked, even though it's not the movie you picked, but the movie I made you pick. Let me ask you this. So I'll not even ask you anything. We're going to go into our recast, our reboot,
Okay.
and talk about this, because this is something that's actually kind of been funny, because I've had people decline to do this. People had a lot of fun to do it. People freaking out about it. So what about you? What was you? Were you freaking out? Did you get it? Was it quick?
There were, when you talked about recasting it, I was worried because honestly, I feel like, I don't know, I recently haven't been up to date on like an extended amount of film, so I don't really know who's good out there. But I felt like once I figured out a director and like the kind of like direction that I envisioned the movie going, it was a lot easier to pick actors. And I'll be honest, I didn't have an actor chosen for Raw because I was like who would it be? Like who would be able to carry the weight of the character for the version that I have in mind? Until this morning, I was on TikTok and I saw this person and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Why did I ever hesitate? That one."
You didn't pick like Bruno Mars or some weird thing like
Why
that.
would
I don't
you
know.
think I follow Bruno Mars on TikTok?
I don't know what TikTok is
No.
still.
No.
Anyway, all right. So then let's begin. So you have your list. Do you have Shadi, Shakara, whatever his name is, Dr. Catherine Langford, Ra, Dr. Daniel Jackson, and Chris and Colonel O'Neill, right? That's who you cast?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the list you gave me, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, because I also had this, like, I almost went a little bit deeper, but I was like, none of the other I don't think any of the other really characters do much besides just army guys, blah, blah, blah,
No.
And then I didn't want to do the slow kid or whatever he is. So
Matthew.
he's slow. It's not my fault. What? I'm just saying. All right. The special needs kid?
Stop.
Okay. All right. So who did you cast as Shari?
I did Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright. What has she
Mhm.
been in? So the name sounds familiar.
She's the sister in Black Panther, his younger sister.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
I think that she would be really fun, and I think that she would. Because one thing I didn't like in my mind for the recasting and the direction, I didn't think that she should be so like damsel in distress, because
Yeah.
there are people that live on survival mode all the time, you know? And if
Yeah.
she was out there in the dirt, she wouldn't be all little and scared, Like she's able to hold her own. And
Yeah.
I think that she can play that well.
Okay. I picked an actress named Andy Allo. If you've watched a show called Upgrade, or I'm sorry, Uploaded, it was
Mm-mm.
on Amazon Prime. It's actually a really good show, and she plays the customer service for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she just was really cool. Kind of had that mixture of like she was pretty and attractive and could be vulnerable, but she also had those moments where she had to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was just like she just was really one of those characters where like you could see somebody instantly fall in love with her because that's what happens in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So like this dude who's never seen he's got a so I thought she would be perfect for that. So
Yeah.
pick for Skara? What is the brother's name?
I don't know. I would say Scara.
I don't
Scara.
remember them
I
saying
don't.
his name in the movie. That's the only problem.
I don't think they do. Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? All right, so
I don't know.
who'd you pick?
I picked Ashton Sanders.
Who's he?
Um, Personally, the only film I've ever seen him in, but I do love this film, is that film Moonlight.
Okay.
He played the younger Chiron, and it was a really good movie. And for like what I had in mind, I think that he would be a really good Scara,
Yeah, that's fine.
because to me, he can still play that like not naive. He could just play that like young, innocent, like I just want to help, without being dumb.
Yeah, gotcha. I picked Rarash Jaswal. He was in a movie called Extraction. It's a Netflix film with Chris Hemsworth. Awesome movie.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Maybe once.
Where Chris Hemsworth's a soldier and has to get him and take him out of the city, and he's just like fighting his way out of the city.
No, no, I have
All
not.
right, you need to see it because it's like Chris Hemsworth doing a military John Wick type movie because there's a lot of like single takes of this thing, but we'll get into that later. But he plays the son of a drug dealer that he has to go get and take out of the city, and it's just like he's fighting mercenary. It was a really cool movie. All right, so who did you pick for Dr. Catherine Langford?
I don't know. Okay. I would like to justify my choice of Helen Mirren with the fact that she did the introduction for Documentary Now. And I know that she could totally follow the vision I have and do it in such a nonchalant way that is still so funny and still keep her Helen Mirren energy. Shut up. I love that for us. Yes, exactly.
Great minds, right there. Who else? Who else?
Honestly,
Again, like,
exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, yes, Emma Thompson maybe, but no, Helen Mirren is awesome and
Yeah.
so very sexy. Like it's just hilarious and awesome. And if you want to see her at her sexiest, you have to see Excalibur. Horribly
I
great.
feel like you've made me watch that movie.
I think you've watched it before. You should watch it again. It's a great movie. It's one of
Okay.
those. No, it's one of those movies you go back and you're like everybody's in the movie. Liam Neeson, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Kieran Hines. Oh man, who's the other There's like a Gabriel Byrne. But they're so young you can barely recognize most of them.
Oh my God. I love that.
Like it's just this like you're like I think the one time I watched, I was like, holy crap, that's Gabriel Byrne, and I'm like halfway through the movie. So yeah, there's a lot of those where so many of the actors in that movie went on to be big things.
Hmm.
And if you ever watch Graham Norton, listening to Liam Neeson talk about that movie is awesome. So
Really?
yeah, because he talks about like riding a horse, and he didn't know how to ride a horse, but he just said he could. But in the armor, you couldn't see like he's bouncing around the armor.
I
But
love
yeah,
that.
Helen Mirren is just so awesome. I mean, she's great in everything, whether it's an actionist thing like Red or being the mom and like something like Fast and Furious, but then she can be a phenomenal actress like in Queen.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, there was just no question. And obviously you are awesome and thought the exact same thing. So is that the same? You same what I'm saying is what you think? Or did you
Yeah.
just like whatever, old white lady?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
What's your favorite role of hers?
I just told you the reason that I chose her for this is because she did the introduction to Documentary Now. And I
Oh,
think
that's
that
right.
that is the randomest thing of all of the things
Right.
she's ever done. That is so absolutely random. And she did it for the multiple seasons that they did. Granted, she was probably there for like 4 days max the entire time they've ever filmed and just stood there. But like that's just so funny to me. And I think that she could definitely do like the Dr. Langford and
Yeah.
just that same energy.
I'm willing to put money on the fact she did not leave her house to do that.
Exactly. That was nothing for her. And
Like,
she probably made
I'm sorry.
good
Let me
money.
just ching 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 with her tea.
Exactly.
What are the lines? Okay. Oh, this is such foolishness. And boop, records all 18 of them for one season. Boop. Okay.
Yeah, just stands on the tape.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. All right. Tell me when you want me to come back. Just like screw you guys.
That camera.
Yeah. 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 That is right. Because she's actually on the stage, isn't she? It's not voiceover. She shows up.
It's her.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's down for it. All right. So who did you cast as Raw? This I'm interested in because I did something weird. I want to see if you did it.
I don't think so. Like I said, I was a little bit lost because I really okay, as much as I love Stargate, the overall tone of the film to me is very dated. It's just a very much like all the movies. Of course, no matter what, he's going to end up with that pretty girl. And of course, this. It's just a little bit cliche to me, and it's just super predictable, but that doesn't make it bad. It's still a wonderful movie. It's definitely still in my top 10.
It's a '90s epic act.
Exactly.
That is what it's going
Exactly.
for.
And the vision that I have for it is definitely a little more modern in a sense of like acting styles was another big thing for me because what?
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Come on.
Just the acting style is like a little bit dated and I want it to be fun and new. And I feel like how I envision Raw has like so much power. Raw is like over that version of Raw is over the top, very much like I can do anything I want. So I chose she's a musician and she does a little bit of acting. Her name is Rico Nasty. And I just think that she could bring so much to the character of Raw in a way that, like, all you have to do is give her the costume and she can just become whatever. She's very loud, not just vocally, but her energy and what she can bring is very loud. And I think that she would make it very, very fun, but still keep that very elegant sense that Raw has as a ruler. I think she can do that easily, and I think that it would be very, very fun to see her in a role like that.
Cool, cool. I have
Who did
no
you
idea.
pick?
I have no idea who that is.
I imagine you wouldn't.
I picked. It's funny because I did the same thing you did. I went with a woman, and I picked. Trying to. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Golshifte Faranahani, and she was in this movie called Extraction, and she plays like Chris Hemsworth's handler slash
Mhm.
like military buddy. So she gets in there with the military stuff near the end. She's strong,
I'm gonna look
uh,
her up.
beautiful. It's GolshifteH space Farahai. I mean Hani. And the funny thing was, like, what I really wanted to do is,
She's beautiful.
yeah, and she's cool, and she's really good in that movie too.
She's 5'7".
Yep. I told you she's standing next to Chris Hemsworth and doesn't look like a midget, so she's not gonna be. What the heck was this name? Hold on, because there was actually, I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna do it today.
Ooh,
Yeah, is there was somebody else I was going to pick, but I think you say they for this person. Uh, Josie Toda. I'm trying to think. I think switch to a girl.
switched.
Trans. I don't know the term. Sorry. Um, but where is the dang filmography? Ah, no. Did I pick the wrong person? What is this? Oh, I hit the wrong hyperlink. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to hit Disney Channel. There we go. So there was a show called Handsome. No. Gosh, dog it. Where is it? Champions. There it goes. A show called Champions. And he plays the son in that show of the main character. And it's like his ex-girlfriend of his went off and had a baby, didn't tell him, and then like right as he's about to change his life, the woman says, hey, you have a son, he wants to live here because he can go to school here, will you take care of him? So he lives with him, but
Mhm.
he's very effeminate, we'll just say it that way. And eventually during the course of the show comes out as gay, and it's just these two bros who run a gym trying to deal with this. Not only I have a son, but I have a gay son, and it's hilarious and awesome. And the kid was like steals the show, like just steals the freaking show. And then the Saved by the Bell reboot came out, and I
Mm.
was like, "Is that?" Because it looks like, but now a girl. So then I looked the actor up, and yeah, changed to decide to be a girl,
Transitioned.
transitioned to being a girl, and I thought about her as Raw, but still too young. Like I kind of felt like Raw still need to be
Yeah.
like an adult and is playing a high
Yeah.
show. And I was like, you like, because Jay Davidson, like, I'm sorry, he could be whatever. I don't know if you know about the Crying Game. So that's why I was like, it'd be interesting to do that. Like pick somebody who was, nowadays who would be trans to play the
Mhm.
character. But that was the only one that I've seen that I was like, that kid was really, really talented. Like if you want to go, it sucks because it only ran for one season. It was called Champions. I think it's on Netflix right now. So good. So good. Like really one of those, like, you ever seen a show and you're like, everybody's good, but that person
Yeah.
is gonna explode. And that was what I felt about this kid. And then, to see, I'm like, nope, not because, but yeah, that was the first, when you first said this, I was like, that kid, but still has not aged enough.
Still too young. And that's
Yeah.
honestly a problem I had casting like Dr. Jackson and Shadi, because I don't know, like there were a lot of people that I had in mind. For what I envisioned for this movie, I thought that Tom Holland would be such a cute Dr. Jackson. However, Tom Holland has such a baby face. And
Yeah.
I don't, not that I think he's not talented enough, because I think he can. I think he's very funny and he's very witty. And when it comes to serious things, I think he can do that very well. He's just a baby and he looks
Yeah.
like a baby, and Dr. Jackson is not.
Well, and you got to think, anytime you have somebody called a doctor,
They're definitely late 20s or early 30s.
well, yeah, because you've got at least minimum 7 years of college,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the type of doctorate. So yeah,
And Dr. Jackson also has this, long, long, he has a lot of experience in the field that he's in. And that's why they chose him for this specific assignment.
yeah,
So, what, 24-year-old Tom Holland
yeah,
could at max play someone who's 24. I feel like if he
yeah,
were to play someone 25, that's pushing.
yeah. So who did you pick for Dr. Daniel Jackson then?
Okay, hear me out. I I love him. I've always loved him. Aaron Johnson.
Aaron
He's
Taylor
been,
Johnson?
yes.
So Quicksilver.
Yes, but not big buff Aaron Johnson. Like, I'm gonna kill people, Aaron Johnson. Like Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, Aaron Johnson. Like the beginning of his career, Aaron Johnson. Long hair. I mean, he's gonna have the arms no matter what. But he's just a little more. He plays like the little awkward, quirky dude so well,
I
and
mean,
I think that he would be really good for that role. And I think he'd be very fun and funny. And I like the idea of Aaron Johnson and Letitia Wright
no,
being
think
on
about
screen.
the first Kick-Ass movie
Mm-hmm.
before he like gets swole as all get out in other
Yeah,
movies. I could see that if he's willing to drop all the weight again, I think it would be
he's gonna
perfect.
do it for my movie.
He probably will, yes.
What
All right,
about you?
I picked John Boyega because I
I like that.
love John Boyega.
I know.
He is just Disney needs to make it up to him for screwing him over so bad in those Star Wars movies and let him be
Absolutely.
Cyclops. When they reboot the
Oh,
X-Men, he needs to be Cyclops. I've been saying that for
I
a
like
while
that.
now. I'm like, he would be awesome as Cyclops because
I
Cyclops
like
is
that.
the Captain America of the X-Men, not the Hawkeye. Anyway, but yeah, John Boyega. Aside from that, he's a fantastic actor. He's got tons of charisma when you let him unleash it. Anytime you see him on any talk shows, he's awesome. And I really think like kind of have that kind of that nerd energy because James Spader is all
Yeah.
about like he's just excited about all the
Yeah.
can I keep this when he like steals the dude's newspaper and then leaves and then comes back. So I really see John Boyega kind of pulling off that kind of slightly awkward but super
Yeah.
excited kind of thing. So that's why I picked him because yeah, I just he got robbed so bad in those Star Wars movies. He should have been a Jedi in the third one, like straight up. Like I don't understand. The guy had a lightsaber on his poster for the first movie. How is he running around on horses yelling for Rey by the third one? Like he just got left in the dust. It was pathetic. But
Right.
yeah, so that was my pick. So yeah.
I like that.
All right. So you, Colonel O'Neill, who'd you pick for your Colonel O'Neill?
Okay. I was a little stumped on this one, and remember how I said I just feel like I don't know a lot of like modern actors, and I was like, dude, I don't know who who is supposed to replace Kurt Russell.
Yeah, that's
Who, like, I can't recast Kurt Russell. I don't think it's the same. I mean, I could, but I I don't know. So I was just a little bit torn, and I was like, I don't even like really watch like action movies or like military movies. And so I just didn't know what to do. So it was just like action stars, right? And I'm like, have I seen any of these movies? Are any of these people familiar? Um, And then I rewatched a couple clips from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I chose Sebastian Stan.
That's a good
I
choice.
think I think that one, he's very handsome, and two, I think that he can kind of keep that like secretive stoic energy that Kurt Russell had with, especially with his whole family trauma kind of thing. I think that he can keep that, and then with the vision that I have for the film, I think that he could also keep with the awkward and comedic flow of the other characters, including especially Aaron Johnson and Ashton Sanders.
No, I think that's a good choice.
In his arms would look so good.
I mean, one of them's going to be robotic, though.
Works for me.
Well,
what about you?
I picked Chris Pratt. And I picked him because of his one, Zero Dark 30, where he plays one of the military guys that kills bin Laden. And then two, there's just moments in the first Jurassic World where he just commands the screen as somebody who should be leading this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to kind of let him tap into that and maybe let him do some, I want to say real acting, like he's been a good actor, but to kind of get into that more, the deeper inner soul, like you're saying, the trauma, the, just that kind of thing. It would be neat to see him go through that and play that part of like, no, I'm not here to discover things. I'm here to destroy this thing and die with it.
Yeah.
And I really, I like taking some of these guys who you haven't seen do that kind of stuff. Like you see echoes of it. Like I said, in Jurassic World, there are moments where you see echoes of that. You guys raised her by herself. You've let her out, and now she gets to eat whatever she wants. That's what she's gonna do. This is, just that whole like you just like just so good. And I would love to see him play this part. I think that would be awesome to have him lead this team and do that. And that's kind of what I kind of pictured was that kind of energy. So because that's like Kurt Russell brings that gravitas to anything.
Yes, and that personally, I feel like that's also a very dated thing. I feel like a lot of actors, younger male actors nowadays, don't have the same kind of presence that Kurt Russell had in that position, in that role. I think not only was it written for him, but I think that he's just definitely one of a kind. And especially for this movie, I just think it's better to take it in a little bit of a different direction because no one can play it how he played it.
Yeah. So I'm now very curious because you've been talking about this view, this vision. Who did you pick as your director for this movie?
Okay, I could be mispronouncing it. I probably am, and I apologize. Taika Waititi.
That is perfect. That is how you say it, Taika Waititi. So the guy who did Thor Ragnarok, you want to do Stargate.
And What We Do in the Shadows, and that
Jojo
Hunting
Rabbit.
for Wilder People. Yeah.
Is it Jojo Rabbit, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I think. Go ahead.
I love him as himself when he does decide to take a role in things. I think that he's a wonderful actor. I think that he's a wonderful director so far, even serious films or films, his films and the serious scenes, I thoroughly enjoy. And I think when you take especially Thor, the overall tone of Thor and apply it to Stargate, I think you can come up with a wonderful film. And I think that would be the best way to make a modern version of this, my modern version of this movie with what I have in mind, because he can bring that like almost awkward scenarios, but like, well, we're in this moment, so we need to keep doing this, and write it in a way that's funny and not make it so like unbearable to watch.
See, the only way that I could take him as the director is if Korg could be a prisoner of Raw. He comes out and helps them escape.
But see, I think he would do that.
You guys,
I think that he would do that.
We're gonna go against Raw. Do you guys want to come? We're gonna start a revolution. We have a ship right over there.
But see, he would do something like that. He would make it fun.
Yeah, he'd be like one of the people in the village, like Shahri's dad or some weird random thing
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
No, I do. That he has impressed me with the randomness of his films.
Mhm.
To go from What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok, Jojo Rabbit, and in
Mhm.
the midst of all that, film a completely badass season finale of The Mandalorian, the
Yeah.
first season, and you're just like, what can't this guy do?
Exactly. What
You know,
can't he do?
and he's depending on when this episode comes out, he's already been called out for other films. I know I picked him for a
Mhm.
film that I can't say yet because I'm not sure when that episode's coming out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I that is somebody who I, did he already get an Oscar for Jojo Rabbit? I want to say he already got an Oscar, but he's gonna if he didn't get one, he's gonna have one soon. Like that dude is just
Because he's doing that new Thor movie too.
correct.
Mhm.
What the heck? Now you got me wondering. Did he win? I can't remember if he won. Tycho. It would help if I could type you piece of crap. Taika Waititi. Did he win for Jojo Rabbit? Yeah, it is Jojo Rabbit, by the way. Best writing. He won the Academy Award for best writing. Okay, so he did win an Academy Award, just not for directing. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's a good call. It's a good call. Okay, so my director,
Mhm.
and we're gonna reference the same movie I've been referencing all day, is
Okay.
Sam Hargrave, who directed Extraction for Netflix.
Okay, Sam. I'm gonna look him up. Sam.
He started doubling for Chris Evans.
He's a stunt actor.
He was a stuntman, but he's been doing directing.
Wow.
He did second unit on the Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War,
Mhm.
directed Extraction. He's just amazing. Like just some of the like to see the way he does action and tempered by the Russos. Like you're talking about somebody who has been
Yeah.
raised through from Winter Soldier. He's been on almost every Marvel film with Captain America doing stuff and then kind of became this. So he's got somebody who can back him up and help him do the special effects epic.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a scene, it's a one taker, a oneer, allegedly, where it starts in this building, him fighting, goes down to the street, goes in a car, has a car chase. They get out of the car and go to another building, and they shot it to look like it's one take.
That's sick.
And the coolest part is when they're doing the car chase, because it's a stunt dude and he does this stuff. Like there's a scene where they're fighting and they fall off this patio and go onto the street.
Mhm.
He's rigged on the same rig they use to slow themselves
Mhm.
down, and he jumps off with the camera after them so he can get the shot of them landing.
Wow.
And then for the car chases, he straps himself to the hood of the car. So they're like these two cars are racing through the street, and he's on the hood of the car with the camera. And then when they stop, he has them unhook him so when the car stops, he can jump off the car and walk over to the other car and put the camera in the car to get these.
My.
Like the dude just like to think about. It was like yeah. So I've been wanting to put him on something, and when I was looking up this and was looking up the actors, because two of those actors are from Extraction that I picked for this, and I was like, no, Sam Hargrave, let him direct this, let him have a ball. The crazy wonder action of like the Ross guards fighting the soldiers,
Yeah.
like whatever. It would be insane. So I think yeah, that's my director. That is
I really like that because then in turn that could bring a lot more action to the movie because I feel like I mean Stargate isn't about the action, but I think you have plenty of opportunity to put really good action shots or really good fight scenes in that movie
yeah.
and having a director who himself is a stuntman, I think you could get very creative and unique action scenes out of that. So I like that.
Yeah, your assignment is to go watch Extraction on Netflix.
Sure.
It's Chris Hemsworth doing Chris
Right.
Hemsworth things without the hammer.
All right.
All right, so that is our recast and our director for Stargate. I think that sounds like it's going to be awesome. So we got a couple other questions for you, quick fire. I know I gave you some of them, but I forgot to give you others. So, and I think we already discussed this, but like, what other movies do you think about picking for this? I know Dark Crystal
Um,
was one. Where there any other ones you were like, well, maybe this one or that
there
one?
was the Dark Crystal. I wanted to do the Labyrinth, but I can't imagine the movie any other way other than what it is. So I just thought it'd be best to not touch it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, cause I was super sad on the Dark Crystal. So,
Well,
and then when you were like something else, I was like, you know what? Of all the films that I've ever grown up with that I felt like were a little bit on the sci-fi, but that I could have fun with, I think that Stargate is just so unique in itself. And aside from the really bad little series that came after it, I think the movie is very.
people love that show too.
I know, I know. There's more than one. Awful. They're all awful.
I think I tried. I tried to watch one because the girl who plays Kaylee in Firefly was in one of the shows. So I tried to watch it and I was like, no, no, I'm okay. So, all right. So, who is your favorite actor of all time, do you think?
Of all time,
Or recently, whichever you want to say.
mm, okay. Recently has been Bill Hader. Every time I see him, I absolutely love and appreciate everything he brings to whatever he's doing. And he's just so ridiculous. But on the other hand, he's also a really good actor.
Yeah.
Like, aside from just being goofy and talking dumb all the time, he's really, really good. And I feel like he's one of those people that is really in tune with the craft rather than just an actor for fun. I think that he could do a lot of things.
Have you watched Barry?
Yes.
I need to watch that. I
You
haven't watched.
haven't seen it? You would actually love that show.
I probably would. I need to check it
It's
out.
so good.
Nice. Okay. What about favorite director? Do you have a favorite director? Is it Taika Waititi, or is there a different director that you kind of like? Yay, awesome.
Um, Personally, I don't really like follow directors, and I feel like Taika Waititi is the first director that I've ever actually been like, oh yeah, he did this, this, and this. So I guess it would be him. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a movie kind of within all these various genres that you think is just horribly overrated? Like you watch it, you're like, I do not understand why people like this movie.
um, I don't know. I feel that way about a lot of movies. Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of them in like the sci-fi genre or like comic books or anything, I feel like a lot of them have a mostly appropriate fan base, but if I absolutely had to choose, um I think it would be the Batman versus Superman movie. I watched it once and I don't even remember everything about it. I wasn't super impressed. Now, granted, I'm not an extreme fan of that, but I love Henry Cavill. I think he's extremely talented. I don't think he's the problem. I think the story and the Batman is the problem.
Do you know anybody who likes that movie? Yeah.
But
There are people on Twitter
why
who
was it so popular? And then like I would see some people on Facebook be like, "This movie was so good," and I was like, "Why? Why?"
you are in my camp. That is the dumbest movie.
Awful.
I would definitely put it in my top 5 worst movies of all time. Not even just comic book movies, just the worst. It just makes not a lick of sense, and
It's not.
it doesn't. It doesn't. And then like, oh, watch the director's cut. No, all the director's cut
No.
does is make Superman less of a bitch. Like that's all it does. That's really all it does. And even that a little. Yeah.
But see, I don't think that that's fair because, well, Henry Cavill is amazing. I think he's a wonderful actor, but I feel like I've told you this before. I really love Henry Cavill as the modern day Superman, because he brings that like very I don't know how to describe it. It's just like the average handsome kind of guy, but he's still very strong. He himself has a strong presence, and he's very physically strong, and I think that he's a very good Superman because he's still very soft and precious, but he's got big shoulders and big arms, and then like his hair sticks out of the top of the costume, his chest hair, and I'm just like, wow, Henry Cavill, you're the best modern Superman that we have. And I think that he's great, and that Superman movie was good, but then
Yeah,
it's just I,
no,
I appreciate that.
I think Man of Steel was a good, like what the X-Men was to X-Men 2.
Hmm.
You get a solid X-Men movie, and then you get a fantastic film like X-Men 2. And I think Man of Steel was pretty solid. I didn't
I loved that movie.
yeah, I didn't like I wasn't like woo, but I was like, okay, now that you've set the groundwork,
We're gonna go upwards from here.
the next one's going to be phenomenal, and then they
Right.
crap the bed and
Exactly.
but no, because I've been saying for years like they cheated Henry Cavill
Hmm.
and they cheated Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck the like Batman versus Superman is one of those things where I feel like the recipe is perfection.
These are not bad actors. I don't think that it's an
Yeah,
actor problem.
not bad actors, not a
Mm-mm.
bad director. Like I don't mind Zack Snyder. I like some of his previous
Yeah.
films, but someone either lost a bet when they wrote the script or just like I don't know what happened. Like it doesn't make it doesn't make a lick of sense, and it just makes less and less sense the more you watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like what is going on in this movie, And it's sad because and then they're doing well. I'm not even gonna get into that dumb Snyder cut thing, so we're gonna go somewhere else. What do you think is the most underrated movie in this whole kind of genre of like sci-fi fantasy and comic book movies or whatever?
um, my personal favorite, that Under the Red Hood movie.
Okay.
The fact that that is not the most, if not one of the most popular animated comic book movies makes no sense to me. I think that that one is a wonderful job from the casting department. I think that that is so fun. I really like that animation style. To me, it's a little more angular, a little more modern, but it does remind me a lot of like early 2000s and 90s animation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dark tones, but then there's the pops of color, and I think that that's really fun. And a lovely story as always. I just think that that one is so good, and I feel like more people should watch it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
I think you're right. Like I'm of the mind that if you can't get Kevin Conroy to be Batman, get Bruce Greenwood. I think Bruce Greenwood. It's one of those where I would have never picked him in a million years, but I think he's phenomenal as
Yes.
Batman. And then Jensen Ackles as Red Hood
Right.
is just genius.
To me,
Um,
unexpected. Also, I never would have been like, you know, who should play this guy. I personally, I wouldn't have thought to go there, but I think he's really good. He's also a really good actor. I feel like I've enjoyed him every time I've seen him in something.
Jensen Ackles.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's one of those guys who I keep like I've seen over and over and just watching him go, and he may appear in one of the future episodes as a
Okay.
recast. That I
Okay.
will tell you off air what I recast him as.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. I'll ask you this last question and then we'll be done. What is a character in comic books, novels, movies, or not movies, but animation, a character you're like, man, give me that movie. I want to see that movie. Why have we not seen that movie yet? What character is that?
Okay. So I'm not quite sure because the original um, comic book was Aspen Comics, but when I bought a more recent, well, when you bought the more recent comic book um, of it, it was a different like company, so I'm not sure who it's with now, but Lady Mechanica.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that, oh my gosh, if we got well casted and well directed, because this could easily turn into something very sloppy, and I don't want it to. But if done right, I think that that could be a wonderful series. I think that that could become much more than just a comic book movie. I think it could be a series, a franchise. It's just phenomenal, and I love the art. I can't even say that I would want it to be live action. I think if we could find a good way to keep it animated and have a similar style, I think that would be excellent.
Now, what that was the Victorian like armored.
Yeah, she's like a cyborg kind of thing. And it's like steampunk
Who would you
kind
cast?
of vibe. Who would I cast?
Yeah. How old is she supposed to
Um,
be? Is she like a teenager or 20s?
no, she's like mid late 20s kind of thing. Um, I don't really know. Oh, I didn't think about that. I don't know. I would definitely.
I go Frances Pogue. Pogue. She's in the new Black Widow movie. She was in Midsummer. She was in Fighting with Your Family.
Who
She
is she
was
in
in.
Midsummer?
She's the main girl.
Her?
Yeah.
Okay, if we did it animated, definitely.
Or live action.
No.
Or did you see her? She was an Outlaw King as well.
Hmm.
If you haven't seen that, that's really good with Chris Pine. It's kind of like the sequel to Braveheart.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so cool. All right, well then there we go. Lady Mechanica. Go buy that comic. Look for it at your local
Absolutely.
comic shop. Raven, thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show,
you.
coming to have fun and agreeing, even though you were like, eh, and I was like, brr, and you were like, nah, and I was like, you're like, whatever. You came on, you did a great job. I don't know what you're worried about.
Thanks.
It was fun. So yes, Jeff, fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do me a favor. I want you to tell me where you at. Do you have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like YouTube channel? Do you do any of that stuff, or is this like, no, Dad, this is a one-off. Please don't have to come talk to me.
um, I mean, eventually I would like to be able to plug. I would like to have some sort of voice acting thing or podcast in the future. I don't know. But at the moment, I just sell my paintings, my little paintings from my wall. So that would be my Instagram, stuff created by Ray. Um, and that's also my Etsy shop. Please don't follow me on Twitter or my personal Instagram or Facebook, because it's just nonsense.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll put the Instagram, I mean the Etsy link below, so people
Hmm.
come check it. Because like now the painting behind you, is that you?
That one and that one and that one.
Okay. For
Yeah.
those listening, that one and that one and that one will be somewhere. If you're watching the video, you just saw it. But great paintings. We've got a couple. I know my friend Ben bought a couple, so we'll put it up there. Thank you very much again, and we will see you guys or listen to you guys or talk to you guys next time. And the music plays out. I honestly had a lot of fun talking to Raven about this movie, and it was interesting because I can remember showing her that movie when she was little, and she just doesn't remember it. But I do remember a lot of these different fanboy things just pretty much getting shoved in that poor child's face. I mean, I say child; she's 24 now, so not so much. But when she was a kid, yeah, having me as a dad was not. You're not getting around just having comics and cartoons put out there. I also had a good time kind of listening to it again because it's fresh in my mind. I mean, we recorded it just a couple days ago. So it was fun. It was exciting. She was, I think she says in the episode, a little nervous about doing it, but I thought she did great. And I mean, Stargate's a good movie. It is kind of funny how much Egyptian stuff her mother has in her house that somehow she did not reconnect to that movie till much later. Anyway, again, like I said before, thanks for listening to the episode. Please leave reviews on wherever you are that you're listening to it. Share with your friends. Come to the Facebook group, www.facebook.com/fanboyjunction with a K. Interact with us, ask questions. judge us on our casting. The recasting was kind of hilarious. The fact that we both had Helen Mirren as Dr. Langford was classic. That is only 2 times in the recordings of these episodes. Of the 9 I've recorded, that is only the 2nd time that the casting has matched. So that was kind of cute. And then, the fact that we picked females to be Raw, I thought that was kind of interesting as well. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we will listen to you guys, watch you guys, talk to you guys, see you guys next time.